Whoops. Here we go. Welcome everyone. We are in Suzuka today, one-shot quali because of the sprint. That's our retiring because he has a quali ban, I believe so. One-shot quali will be very tricky. One invalidation can put you at the back of the field. Currently, it is D-Heat leading the way from every single driver on track. It's a full lobby for today as well. So D-Heat in the Haas leading the way after Sector 1. Martijn in the Aston in P2, and Med, our previous race winner, is in 3rd place. Chris has retired from the session. I think he may have had a moment as we see Martijn with a massive snap. Almost spinning out there, however, he does not lose any positions by the looks of it. Because of that, now fighting out with Med. Nazer up to P4, Ghost Rider up into P5, Mitz in 6th place. D-Heat has led the way for basically the entire time so far. It looks like it will be a comfortable pole position for him if he can keep it within track limits. This is where he's to invalidate, but he keeps it within the track. And now he will continue his way all the way up to 130R. Pinax has also retired from the session. That might be because of a spin or something like it. Deadly Minan also retiring. Many drivers retiring as D-Heat around the final corner. He goes to take pole position for the sprint race. He crossed the line now with a 26.9. Martijn right behind him. And I couldn't see the other gaps, but it was definitely very, very close. I completely forgot it was a one-shot qualifying, my bad for that, but look at the top two. The top two are just in a league of their own. Wow, that's almost half a second in front of the rest of the field. Ghost Rider in the Ferrari in that 2nd row, Med in P4, Nazer P6, Nazer P5, sorry, Dave P6, Myths in P7, Mr. Bust in P8, Flynn 9th, Verse 10th, and just go down the list. Baltus did not manage to set the time in, unfortunately. I think he disconnected, that's why. So I'll be starting in 15th place. Something happened to Chris, Daily Minan, Pinax and Nix. Nix got an invalidation. Pinax, the rest just retired. I don't know what happened to them. It's D-Heat on pole for the sprint race, and the sprint race I think is 9 laps long. So we're up for an exciting sprint race. Japan is a tricky track to overtake. I think the best opportunity you have in the entire lap is on that main straight with a DRS. That's also the only DRS straight you have. So yes. Oh, here we go again with the cheers. We have Wobby with 10 bits. What did I say? Cheers. 100 bits, sorry. Yes. Well, we're just waiting for the drivers to prepare their strategies for the sprint race. No mandatory pit stop in the sprint race, obviously. But I'm very curious to see what tire compounds the drivers will opt to choose for this 9-lap long sprint race. Let's see. Should start any moment. And now we have 200 bits or 100 bits from Suffocator, another 100 bits from Wobby. But here we are, the 5 lights are on for the sprint race, and the lights are out, and away we go. It looks like a very strong start from D-Heat, who already leads the way heading into turn 1. Martijn stays in P2, Ghost Rider picks the inside line heading into turn 1. In the back we see Med and Nazer fighting out for P4. They go side by side heading into the high speed section, and now Nazer is in the fight with a Red Bull of Myths. Still fighting it out. Both drivers in this high-speed section managed to keep it clean. However, I think Mitz has backed out of that battle, and so far no major incidents in the back, no one spinning out. It's a clean opening lap for now. D-Heat still leading the way up front. Then he's got Martijn right on him already, putting him under pressure, but DRS will be enabled in 2 laps time. That's when they'll get that extra top speed at that DRS rate. In the back we see a McLaren as actually something after Nazer. He's dropped back many positions. Nazer's now down to P10. He started P5. He's lost 5 positions so far. He now finds himself behind his teammate Ooh, this is getting very close between some drivers. Mr. Bust putting mids under massive pressure. Mr. Bust using the RS, pulling alongside, and will potentially look to go for a move down to 130R. No, he's not close enough. He backs out of it. Now that's Nazer going down the inside of Verse and makes that move stick. Nazer now looking to overtake the other Alpine of Mr. Bust as they make contact, and Mr. Bust has almost been spun out. There's a major contact between many drivers there, but Mr. Bust survives it, hopefully with no damage. He's now up into P6. We go 3 wide, I think that is, in the main straight. Surely someone will have to back out as we head in turn 1. Yes, someone does back out. The Alpha Romeo backs out now. That's Mr. Bust making contact, slight contact with the Alpha, slightly pushing him off in that exit of turn 2. Wow, very, very hard racing so far, but the top 4 are pulling away from the pack with all that battling. That has cost them a lot of time. And we have 3 people actually pitting for a potential front wing change. Let's see now, Med very close to Ghost Rider. Where can Med get past? Actually, Ghost Rider lets him through. What happened? Ghost Rider retires from the session. Is there a lobby restart? Is there a lobby restart or anything? What's going on? No idea. We'll just continue like this. Both Ferraris are out of the race. That is very weird. Flynn retires as well. Surely there has to be a lobby restart. For some reason there is a lobby restart, but yeah, you can see many drivers retiring from the race. I'm pretty sure it's a lobby restart. I don't know.
Yep.
Ah, okay. There we go. Red flag. Okay. Well, bear with us. We'll sort out new lobby and we'll be back very soon. Hello everyone again. Hopefully the screen starts working. Okay, there we go. Right, so we have managed to get the lobby going again. This time I will be prepared toward the one-shot qualifying. Obviously we'll be restarting the one-shot qualifying and the sprint. So basically from the start once again. Will be interesting to see if we'll see any changes in the starting positions in the sprint with this restart qualifying. There was one assist restriction that the lobby hoster got wrong, and that was that medium traction was restricted when it's supposed to be full traction. Yes, that's pretty much it. But here we go again for round 2 of Suzuka. We saw D-Heats taking pole just about to Martin. That was. Will we see a reversed order this time, or will we see someone else up there along with those guys? We'll have to see. Definitely many people that retired as well or invalidated their laps, so they basically get another chance. Well, let's see how it goes. We're about to start. Also, Bobby McQueen, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. I think that is. Yes, 3 months. Yes, thank you very much for that. And now Suffocating has 1,400 bits. Bobby has 1,105. And third place is Darkness with 380. Yeah, Suffocating is basically in a league of his own. But here we go, we're about to start. Hello Soybean in the chat, how are you doing? Yeah, Baltas can get pole for sure. I think he's definitely a good contender. Well, let's see, we're about to start. 5 more seconds. Who will be the one to start on pole for the sprint this time around? And here we go. Let's take a look with Myths heading onto the main route. They've all crossed the line now, so it's the drivers who are driving now. Martin up into P1 for now, as into the first corner we head. It's Chris leading the way, and now he actually drops back quite a long way. But it's Martin now leading the way, the other Aston Martin. We've got Med in P2, now D-Heats goes up into P2. Main drivers are switching positions all over the grid. But Martin this time out is leading the way, while on the previous attempt, it was D-Heats leading the way through this section. So D-Heats may have made a mistake. Baltis is up there as well, as Soybean said. So definitely a much more closer and much more competitive qualifying. And Nazer's now up there as well, fighting it out with Baltis for P3. Let's take a look now. It's still Martin leading the way from D-Heat in P2. It's basically the reversed from before we restarted. Martin with the upper hand this time around. Nazer up into P3, Med P4, as Bullet is down to P7 now. Myths up to P6, two Red Bulls very close to each other. Ghost Rider up into P5 once again, just like before the restart, as Pinax retires once again. And now Martin heading into one of the final corners. This is the penultimate corner, accelerating to the line. Did have a small snap. Will it be pole position for Martin in the sprint? Yes, it is, by quite some margin as well to D-Heats this time around. It is Martin on pole. D-Heats in P2. I think it was Nazer P3. We'll look at the results in just a second. Here we are then, Martin dominating the qualifying then. More than 2.5 tenth gap to D-Heats, while before the restart was half a tenth of a gap behind D-Heats. So definitely very good, much better qualifying for Martin than last time around. Nazer in P3, Med P4, Ghost Rider and P5, Tixnix in P6, Myths P7, Baltus P8, Verse, Chris, Dave, Mr. Bust, Jakes, Crumpets, Milan, Blitz, Bliss Hyper, Flynn, Pinax, and Arrow to finish off the grid. Pinax and Arrow not managing to set in a lap. I think Pinax retired by mistake. Arrow had to retire because of a quali ban. 26.8 is a very, very good lap around here. As we're about to head to this into the sprint for the second time. Nine laps of racing in the sprint. The first 2 laps, well, basically the first 3 laps won't have DRS. We'll have DRS gets enabled on that 3rd lap, but the drivers actually get it at the end of that 3rd lap, since it's a bit weird with the DRS detection point, and we only have 1 DRS trait as well. As I said earlier, that's where we'll see most of the moves happening. However, we did see on that start main drivers fighting it out side by side through the high-speed section. But here we go for the second time. This time around, it's Martijn starting on pole, and the 5 lights are out, and away we go now. Looks like a good start for Martijn, who leads the way from D-Heats. D-Heats under pressure for Nazer. D-Heats, Nazer around the outside of D-Heats. Can he make it a move stick? Can he hang on with him? Yes, he can. And he's still side by side heading into the high-speed section. Nazer has that inside line, and Nazer goes up into P2. Then Martijn with a brilliant start. He's already half a second ahead of Nazer in P2. D-Heats dropping down a place. Chris fighting out with the Red Bull of Baltas. Chris managing. Oh, that's the Alpine with a spin, and he's into the wall. He has retired from the session. That is Mr. Bust. Just losing it on his own, I believe. And Virtual Safety Car has been deployed, as you can see. 1 retirement already. Martijn leading the way, then Nazer, brilliant start for him. He did everything in his power to get ahead of the heats, and you've got Med before Myths going for P7 all the way up to P5. Ghost Rider losing a position to Myths, he drops down 1 place. Tixnix, actually, you know what? Instead of remembering all the positions, let's just look at this here. Oh, what happened? Someone from Wingpiece has fallen off there. I think that's the one from the Ferrari. Yes, it is. You can see his left end plate is missing. I think he made contact with Myths. We are back underway now, and here comes the Red Bull of Myths down the inside of Ghost Rider. Oh, that gets very close. Ghost Rider almost has to go off track, and now it's the Alfa Romeo of Tixnix under pressure from Chris. Chris has wing damage as well. He has his left end plate missing. He's defending from the Alpine from Dave behind, but now we head into turn 1. Chris has the inside line and makes the move on Tixnix despite having that wing damage. That will cost him dearly through this high speed section, but it's Myths running away with it. Baltas in P6 as well. The top 5 have pulled an incredible gap, actually. We're already in lap 2. The gap's almost 3 seconds. Here we go. Tixnix getting back at Chris and re-overtaking Chris for P7. Chris, with that front wing damage, will be much slower. You're basically be traffic, like traffic, pretty much, yeah. And you can see Chris has to defend from the Alpine behind him. The Alpine looks to go down the inside. Chris leaves the space for him, and actually the Alpine did a fake move, and in the end he ended up doing a real move. And they're now side by side into this right-hander. But by the looks of it, it is Chris who stays ahead of the Alpine for the moment. The Alpine going down the inside again. Chris just has so much less front grip with that damaged wing. It will cost him a lot of time. Can Chris come back at the Alpine? Yes, he can. He's even using his CRS into 130R. We go. It's going to be an Alonso Michael Schumacher move. It is. It's a very similar move. Chris back up into P8. The Alpine has a look down the inside. Chris covers that off. The Williams goes very wide there of Verse. He might be under pressure from his teammate out of the final corner, as ooh, a bit of a snap for the Williams there by the looks of it. The 2 McLarens fighting it out as well for P12. But here comes the McLaren of Jakes on the Williams. Vet getting very close to him. Not close enough to make a move yet. Here we go. There's again drivers pitting. We have 4 drivers who've dropped back significantly because of potential contact or incidents. Martijn still leading the way there. He's got Nazer within that DRS 4 now. DRS has been enabled. We're on lap 3 now. Ooh, bit of a drift from Martijn in that hairpin there. That may cost him a bit of time at the exit. No, actually, did not cost him a lot of time. But Nazer is hanging on very nicely. Will we see Nazer going for a potential move for the race lead on the next lap with that DRS? If he can manage to stay close with him, he will get a big tow through the section as well as the two Williams switch positions. That's Crumpets now ahead of his teammate Verse. Actually, let's look at the tire options. Oh, here we go. So basically everyone is on a set of softs. We've got two medium runners. Those are both of the Williams. Verse is now under pressure from Jakes of the McLaren looking to go down the inside. No, he's already ahead before 130R, and Jakes goes up into P11. However, Williams is looking to get back at him. Not quite close enough. He is under massive pressure. The Williams from the Mercedes, as Jakes has a bit of a snap. The Williams is going very slow. And that is big contact. The Williams turns into Flynn. I think he wants to pit, and he's made contact with Flynn. Flynn has lost his entire front wing as a result of that. Verse has definitely damage, I think. No, it doesn't look like he has damage. But big damage for Flynn. He's got no front wing, no safeguard deployed or anything like it. Big contact. Well then, the top guys are still in the same positions as they were in after that first lap. They're still keeping steady, keeping close to each other, all within the DRS 5-way battle for the race lead in the sprint, for the win of the sprint, I should say. It's Chris still... Oh, wrong driver. Here we go. Chris still hanging on in that 8th place despite having that front wing damage. You can see how much he's defending. He's lost so much time in front. It is truly costing him a lot of time with... it's truly costing the drivers behind a lot of time, and Chris just defending as much as he can. But here we go, Crumpet on those mediums looking to overtake Chris this time around. They're both very low in ERS, but Crumpet is not ahead into 130R. Chris is ahead though and stays ahead into P8. Will Crumpet go for a move down the inside? No, he won't, but we do see the Alpine of Dave making a move on Williams actually. Didn't really call that on camera, but that looked like a very good move. Will we see Crumpets going for a move on Chris now? He's got the DRS, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Chris is doing everything he can to stay in that 8th place. However, he does go a bit deep, and Dave seizes that opportunity to get past him. They go side by side in the high-speed section and made contact. I think Chris has gone off track slightly. Yes, he has definitely gone off track. You can see gravel on his tires, and he's lost 4 positions because of that incident. He even now finds himself down to P12. You have now Verse and Flynn pitting as well, so they did definitely picked up some damage after that incident. But here we go, Nazer on the Aston Martin of Martijn. Is he close enough? He gets a massive tow in this long straight, and that will help him to catch up for the DRS zone, make his life easier to overtake him. You can see almost gained 4 tenths in that long straight. All Nazer needs to do is to get a good exit, get a good run on the Aston Martin. So he can get past him. Oh, has a big snap. That's not ideal. He might be under pressure from the Haas behind him. Yes, D-Heat is using CRS, is looking to get past. I don't think it's enough. And the safety car gets deployed. Something has happened here. The Haas has gone off into the wall, and he has retired from the race. Wow, that's actually very big. Safety car has been deployed. Will we see anyone pitting for a new set of softs, or will they stay out on those old sets they have now? I wonder. Some drivers may want to save a set for the race. Interesting, very interesting. So I do think we will restart at the end of lap 7. That's the final lap. I think that the safety car can be out on this game, and that I don't. Maybe everyone will manage to catch up right on time. However, it will be pretty difficult. This is a very late safety car as well, so the whole field will bunch up again. The drivers that were involved in early incidents that are now in the back get another chance to 4 points. Remember, only the top 8 score points in the sprint race. First place 8, second place 7, and you go down the list like that. So 8th place is the final position where you can score points, and that place is currently in Davis's hands. In P8 does have main drivers behind him though, the Williams and the McLaren. All of the grid nearly on 30% tire wear. Thank you very much for that, Fat Cat. So that means everyone has 30% tire wear. They have exceeded that drop-off zone. You can see no one has pitted for a new set of tires. They don't want to risk it. Don't think it's worth it with so little laps remaining in the sprint race. It's better to just stay out and keep the race position you have. And I'm pretty certain we won't see the entire field catching up to the safety car in time. I think we should be restarting at the end of this lap, and that also means we won't have DRS until the end of the race. It will just be pure on the overtaking skills and defending skills of the drivers. So I think Chris is just close enough to catch up to the safety car. We'll need to push a bit on those new fresh of soft tires, and he'll have a big advantage to everyone in front of him. The only driver that's on fresh softs in front of him is Arrow, so they will have a massive grip advantage to everyone else in front of him. How fast can they get through the field? They need to use their best overtaking abilities to do so. Well then, 2 retirements so far in this race. Let's see, will the safety car come in this lap? Yeah, there it is, safety car is coming in this lap. Can the rest of the field catch up right on time? By the looks of it, Chris will just miss out, but I think the Ferrari and the Mercedes will just about catch up on time. Maybe Chris as well. He will need to move on though. I think, yes, he will just about catch up. The field in front is going very slow, and you can see Chris about to go around the 130R will rapidly catch up. Let's take a look with the Aston Martin of Martijn now. Where will he restart? Chris has caught up to the pack. They still have not restarted. It's Martijn restarting the field. This will be a very late restart, and it is a very late restart, but it is a good restart for Martijn, who has a sufficient gap to defend himself in this main straight. Nazer stays in P2 right behind him, right in his slipstream. We've got 2 more laps of racing action. Who will be the one to come out on top? Will it be Nazer? Will it be D-Heats? Will it be Martijn? Will it be someone else? Oh, that's a Red Bull of Myths who's gone into the wall. How did that happen? Did he make contact or did he lose it? I did not see that at all. That is a big crash on Red Bull. Myths will be starting in 17th place after that incident. That was massive. Did he lose it on his own? May have lost it on his own, may have been contact with someone else, but it's Martijn still leading the way. Nazer in 2nd place, half a tenth behind him. I think Martijn has enough of a base. Oh, there's another crash. The McLaren has crashed in that corner. That's a very weird position to crash in. So 2 retirements already. Everyone's crashing out. The looks of it did get a bit messy by the looks of it. You can see now Martijn in the lead. Nazer struggling to keep up with him. We have the Haas very much closer to D-Heats than what Nazer is to the Aston Martin in front of him. But so far, I'd say the only move here could be the Williams on the Alpine catching up on a rapid pace in 130R. Will he go for a dive? He does not go for a dive yet. Stays back for now. No DRS enabled. We are now starting our final lap of the sprint race. Martijn leading away, trying to break the slipstream from his competitors behind. Here we go, Scrumpets on the Alpine, pulling alongside, looking to go around the outside. This will be a difficult move, and he's not close enough. He doesn't have the grip to stay with him. He backs out of it. The Alpine of Dave stays in front, a P7. He'll be scoring 2 points, the Alpine, as it stands. Here we go, Pinax making a move on Arrow. I think Arrow, what's happened to Arrow? Arrow has picked up some damage. So yes, definitely a messy restart by the looks of it. 2 retirements, damage as well for a couple of drivers. As it stands now, Martijn is comfortably leading this sprint race so far, and I think he has done enough to bring the win home. Or will he make a mistake in this final sector? Don't think it's very unlikely. I think Nazer is, and I think it's not close enough to Nazer to make a move on him. They will all be draining the batteries in the main straight. Or here comes Nazer, is rapidly gaining on the Aston Martin in front. Will he go for a late launch into the final S's? He does look to go for it. The Aston Martin covers the inside line, but can Nazer get a nice switchback on him? No, he can't. It's not close enough. It will be Martijn who will win the sprint race. Nazer finishes in second place. The Haas in third, Med in fourth. The Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, very close finish by all the drivers. But that is the race over. Something happened to the Alpine because he's dropped down to P9. That means Chris scores points and Compass goes up into P7. Very, very interesting race. That's the sprint race over then. We are now going to be heading into the main race, and wow, this sprint race was very close. What can the main race bring us now? Will be very, very interesting. What tire strategies will the drivers opt to go for as well? Well, here are the results then. Yes, Alpha actually do score 11 points. That is absolutely massive for the sprint race. Aston Martin in second place, I believe. Second most scored constructor with 9 points. But Alpha did have the upper hand in the sprint race. Let's see what will happen in the race now. What's going on with cars to the right? They're just bouncing around. What is that? That is very weird. Well then, let's see Martijn starting on pole once again. This time around, it's not the heat on that front row, it is Nazer. Can Nazer get another excellent start and get the race lead out of the first corner? We'll have to see. But by the looks of it, Martijn was very strong with his start so far. Yeah, I have no idea why they are bouncing. Well then, should start any moment. However, I also wouldn't be surprised if no driver has readied up so far. Still waiting. Waiting. It's a very long wait. Well, here we are then, finally, for the race in Suzuka. The 5 lights are on and it's lights out. And away we go. It looks like yet again another very good start from Martijn. Or is it? Because Nazer is looking to go down the inside. No, it's not close enough to do so. He stays in P3 in the back. Belkins making a move on the Alfa Romeo, I think. And Mr. Bust, good start from him as well. Up already 4 positions of the start in the back. Verse making now a position, fighting out with that Red Bull. And now down the inside of the Mercedes Verse goes. And that is him up into P11. So far, much cleaner start than what it was in the sprint race. No retirements. Don't think any driver has picked up damage either. Oh, here we go. The Ferrari went slightly wide there. And now he's been overtaken by Mr. Bust as well. Will Mr. Bust go for a move in the hairpin? No, he doesn't. We go 3 wide in the hairpin. In the back, that's the Red Bull. And the Mercedes spinning out of Arrow. But Pinax, I think, profited the most out of that. He's now up into P13. After starting, what was it? P18, I believe. Oh, here we go. As we will have a very tight battle here. They're all so close to each other here. The Williams sandwiched by the 2 Alpines. The Williams close enough to go for a move. He is on that softer tire. Oh, slightly tapping the Alpine under braking. However, I don't think the Williams picked up any damage from that contact there. And now, by the looks of it, he is looking to go for it. He pulls alongside and I think is now ahead of the Alpine. And yes, he is ahead. That's Verse up into P10 into the point scoring positions. Back to the front we go. Nazer very close to Martijn. And they're both on the mediums as well. Actually, let's take a look at the tire strategy. You can see the majority on the mediums. A couple of people on the soft. But I think the strategy in Suzuka is medium soft or soft medium. I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Fatcat, thank you for that tier 1 subscription as well. Oh, no. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Anyway, I'm just going to continue commentating. Alfa Romeo then of Nazer didn't manage to get past Martijn in the sprint at all. And this time around looking like he's a lot closer. But D-Heat is also a lot closer to Nazer. Where can D-Heat go for a move? Oh, here he goes. Has to look down the inside. However, Nazer closes it off. And D-Heat cannot get past yet. Now it's Med looking to get involved. Med is on those soft tires. He will be much quicker to the 3 drivers in front of him. Well, where can Med go for a potential launch, potential move? DRS won't be enabled until the next lap. Here we go, heading into the final braking zone of the lap then. Nazer still in 2nd place. Martijn leading the way in the back. That's the Red Bull of Baltus, very close to Med, and will potentially look to get past him in this straight. He is in that slipstream. Will get that big toe to go faster. And Pinax gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. I believe he's pitting for a new front wing change. And so does Miss. Miss also pitting. Well, by the looks of it, Martijn has pulled a massive gap on this occasion. It's almost 1 second now. That's big. That's a big gap. I wonder if Nazer can close that gap down to have that DRS on that main straight. It's crucial. He does it. He can use it to defend from the drivers behind him as well. But currently it's looking like a very tight race. I think Verse is very close to the Mercedes here and goes down the inside into the hairpin. Side by side with the Mercedes. They make a bit of contact. Mercedes has had a semi-spin and he loses 3 positions as a result of that. I think that both Alpines getting past now. Alpines working together brilliantly. Mr. Bust up to P10 after starting last. He's made up 9 positions in the space of 3 laps. So definitely a very good start from Mr. Bust in that Alpine. He's now going to be looking to overtake Verse in front of him. The only hard runner, or at least who started, only person that started on the hards, I believe, is Crumpet in that Williams. He will be much slower to the drivers in front as he does go slightly wide. That will cost him a lot of time. Is his teammate Verse close enough to go for a potential move? No, it doesn't look like it, but will we see Team Orders in the main straight? Doesn't look like Crumpet is pulling out of his way, and yes, he is now, and that is Verse up into P9. Oh, as Verse has a big moment there. He's almost gone off track. There's a yellow flag. That's the Mercedes of Blitz that has had a spin out of turn 1. Both Mercedes out of the points and a long way back from the points as well. But here we go, Mr. Bust has managed to get past Verse after a big moment that Verse had, and now he is almost pushing the Williams along with him. Well, can Mr. Bust go for a move? The Williams will be much slower on those hard tires. Will Mr. Bust go for a lunge into the hairpin? He does not go for it, surprisingly. However, Verse does go for a lunge on the Alpine, who can get a better traction out of the hairpin. They both get similar traction, but it's Mr. Bust who has that slipstream of the Williams and now gets ahead of the Williams of Verse. Very close battling by these guys so far. As here comes the Williams again of Verse pulling alongside. Heading into a 30R, he will have the inside line. Can he make a Fernando Alonso move? No, he can't. It goes over the curb a bit too much. And now the Alpine of Dave is looking to get involved. However, it does not go for a move yet. And now here we go. We're head into the main straight where all drivers will have DRS except for Crumpet. This should be an easy move for Mr. Bust with that DRS assistance. He's in that slipstream pulling alongside. And now with that inside line into turn 1, he gets ahead of the Williams. And so does his teammate Dave. Now side by side fighting it out with Crumpets. Dave has that softer compound, has that extra grip, makes the move stick. Both Alpines moving through the field very nicely. Great teamwork by both of them. They're now both up into the point scoring positions. And now they have a big mission ahead of them to pull the gap down to P7. It's almost a 3-second gap. A go on board with Tixnix. Here we go. Finds himself in 6th place on the soft tires. By the looks of it, they are struggling to hang on with the lead drivers. So I wonder, is that maybe the mediums being better? I highly doubt it. Maybe they're struggling a bit. But Baltus got past Med, and Baltus is hanging on nicely with the pack in front of him. He's just slowly going to hunt them down and take every opportunity he gets from the drivers in front battling. Here we go, D-Heats is very close to Nazer on this occasion. He pulls alongside Nazer and with the inside line heading into turn 1. Can he make the move stick on Nazer? No, he can't. Nazer braking so much later and just flying past the Haas. Again, that was an incredible move from Nazer. And he stays ahead for now. And with that DRS, they are now very close to the Aston Martin of Martin in 1st place. Oh, did anything happen? No. Martin slightly slow off the exit out of the final turn of Sector 1. As, oh, Nazer with a massive snap. Does that give the opportunity for the Haas to get past? Yes, it does. And the Red Bull is getting involved of both as well. Down the inside of Nazer he goes. Can he make the move stick? Can he get good traction out of the hairpin? No, not quite. He stays back for now, but can he get him back? He's a bit low on his ERS. He'll need to save a bit, but so is Nazer. So is the Haas. Martin with the most ERS out of every single driver of this pack so far. Med, with all that fighting, has caught up once again. Tixix just outside the DRS of Med. Here we go. D-Hits is back up into P2 now. He's cleared the Alfa Romeo of Nazer. Will he get past the Aston Martin in this main straight with the help of DRS? He needs to get a good exit. Martin really struggling off the exit there. He's got D-Hits all over his gearbox now. DRS will be enabled. Will we see both the Alfa Romeo and the Haas make a move on Martin? Yes, we do. We go 3 wide in the main straight, but it's D-Hits ahead. Nazer with the outside line. Can he make the same move as he did on the Haas on the previous lap? No, he can't. And he goes slightly wide. He manages to stay in P3 though. Baltus not close enough to go for a move. Here we go. We have another move here, I think. Versus getting past Flynn, that was... not sure. But we'll go back for to the leaders here. It is D-Heats, our first new race leader in this race. Can he pull a gap now to the drivers behind? If he can pull a gap, he can benefit from the other drivers fighting. That will help him even more to pull away as into the hairpin we go. Martijn slightly locking up there, rear locking, and Nazer is very close to Martijn. He's in that slipstream, looking to gain. However, Martijn probably used a bit of his DRS to get closer to the Haas. Will we see both Aston Martin and the Haas switching positions again in that main straight? Martijn will have a big slipstream in this long, flat out straight. It's a 6-way battle for the lead now, actually, so this is absolutely incredible. As here we go around the penultimate corner, final traction, and up to the DRS straight we go. Is Martijn close enough to go for the race lead once again? He certainly is, and he does go for it. Pulls alongside and ahead of the Haas by quite a margin heading into the first corner. Martijn is back into the lead, as there is a very close battle here. Oh, that is Blitz Hyper spinning out. Once again a Mercedes spinning out, and that means he's lost many positions now. Chris is down into P15, so something happened to Chris. Completely missed that. But now he makes a move on Arrow and goes up into P14. He will now start to hunt down the Ferrari of Ghost Rider. As Myths... no, sorry, that was Blitz Hyper was spitting. But Martijn still leading the way then. Well, not leading the way, just leading the way once again. After getting past D-Heat on that DRS straight, D-Heat still managing to hang on to that DRS straight. I think undercut will play a massive role in this race for sure. And I'm also pretty certain medium soft medium is the strat to go for here in Suzuka. That means that the top 4 are medium runners will have the advantage later on the race. But the good thing is Med and Tixnix can pit earlier and make that undercut. But here we go, D-Heat's following much better lines compared to Aston Martin in front of him. He even has a small snap, Martijn. But D-Heat's with that DRS very close to Aston Martin, pulls alongside, and that is going to be an easy move for him. Can we see Nazer getting involved in this battle as well? No, he's not close enough to go for a move yet. Baltus still patiently waiting in 4th place for a mistake, as there we go. Martijn does go slightly wide, however does not lose him enough time for Nazer to have a look and overtake him. Baltus very close. There's the yellow flag. I think that's Chris, who's spun out of turn 2, lost it. I think that was the 2nd time in this race. He's lost it, and that has cost him a massive amount of time. Unfortunately, he now finds himself in P15, long way back from the point scoring positions. But here we go, D-Heat this lap around, pulling a much bigger gap than Martijn had to D-Heat on the previous lap, as Ghost Rider gets a 3-second penalty. Nazer just about within that DRS detection point heading into the final corner. He will just about have DRS to defend from Baltus behind him. Is Baltus close enough to go for a move? No, he can't quite get a good exit, and he's too far back to go for a move. It really is a waiting game here in Suzuka, as D-Heat's big weaving on that straight there, and to break that slipstream to Martijn and the other drivers behind. Oh, Martijn once again has a snap out of turn 2 there. Ooh, Alfa Romeo slightly going wide there. Might have had an track limits violation there. Not sure though, but so far no penalties given to many drivers. Only 3 drivers with a penalty. 3 seconds, and the rest is because 5 seconds potentially contact or speeding in the pits. So we only have 1 driver so far who has a track limit penalty. He's doing a wonderful job so far. He's managing to pull away slightly, but they gain back at him with that slipstream, long slipstream here, and with the DRS in that main straight. But by the looks of it, Dees does have the pace advantage to the drivers behind him so far. Martijn even goes slightly wide into the S section there, and he's lost a bit of time on the exit. Nazer will be looking to overtake him, however is too far back to have a look. Baltus is still just patiently waiting behind, just using him as a dough. I think Baltus will be waiting to go for that undercut and have a sniff of that race win. So here we go, we have a first driver spitting. It's Med and Tixnik spitting on a lap 11. Away from those softs onto the mediums they go, and 16 laps on the mediums they'll need to do. Definitely a stint that is very much possible, but they will find themselves in a bit of traffic. Med manages to find themselves just ahead of that traffic. That is brilliant news for him. He can undercut the drivers in front of him before he pitted with no trouble, but bad news for Tixnik because he has two drivers in front of him on worse tires. As actually Med went onto the hards, Tixnik onto the... No, sorry, Tixnik onto the hards, Med onto the mediums. That is very, very interesting. As Deadly Millen retires in the pits. First retirement of this race then. Here we go, you can see already how much Med has pulled away from the drivers behind him. Tixnik struggling to really catch up. However, they are fighting in front. That's Ferrari now getting past their Mercedes. Ferrari versus Mercedes. It's Ghost Rider ahead of Arrow. Let's go back to the leaders. Nazer is very close to Martijn, but he doesn't quite have the straight line speed. Martijn has the ERS advantage, probably used a bit on that straight. They will see the Haas, who retired from the race. Oh, that has created a big mess. And there we go, Baltus uses that mess to get past Nazer. Brilliant stuff. Just like Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher with that lapped car. That's exactly what Baltus did. And now Baltus up into the podium positions. That's exactly how you do it. And Baltus very close to the Aston Martin in front. They all had to take evasive action to avoid that Haas car. But wow, that was brilliant move from Baltus as Mitch gets past Chris on that DRS straight, fighting it out for the last couple of positions. Their race has not gone well so far. There's actually a big train here. It's Tixnik who's still stuck in this train. Did not manage to make any progress at all after pitting. However, look at how much better he's on the exit. Oh, made a bit of contact in that straight. But Tixnik alongside contact again. Just wheel banging on that straight. And Tixnik also gaining on the Ferrari. Now, will he go for a move? Yes, he does. The Ferrari does go slightly wide. And Tixnik, I think, has done. They go side by side into the S's. They make a bit of contact by the looks of it, but Ghost Rider goes very wide onto the curb, but Tixnik has done it. Two moves in the space of one sector. Arrow pits, Ghost Rider stays out. Arrow will probably be looking to overtake Ghost Rider after being overtaken by him. Mr. Bust also pitted onto a new set of medium tires. Things have been pretty quiet, you could say, so far. Not many moves happening. Everyone is just patiently waiting in the train to make their moves. Just like this train here, four-way battle for the race win. We have two other drivers who are also involved in this battle. That's Med and Tixnik. Med, you can see 5 seconds is the gap between him and Tixnik, who both pitted at the same time. Tixnix was just a bit unfortunate to come out in traffic, and he's also on the hard, so we'll have the early disadvantage, the later advantage. But here we go, Martijn gets a much better exit than the Haas, and the Haas actually decides to pit, the first driver to react. No one else in the train pits, however. Oh, as D-Heat gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. That could be massive for the race win. Race leader pits and gets a 5-second penalty. He goes onto the hards for 13 laps. I was expecting him to go onto the softs actually, but that's very surprising. I think soft medium is the strat, to be honest. Mr. Bust, fastest lap on that new set of tires, absolutely flying. He's already caught up to Ghost Rider in front of him, who has a penalty for exceeding track limits. As Baltas now, this entire train will be reacting on that pit stop from the Haas of the Heats. But one question I do have is for which tire compound will they go to? Baltas looking to overtake the Aston Martin on this occasion now. Actually pulls alongside, but it's not quite close enough. That outside line is longer. He's getting more speed if he wants to overtake him, and it's not close enough. Will he go for a move in this long straight here though? There's a yellow flag. Not sure what happened. There's Ferrari that spun. That's the Ferrari of Ghost Rider that has spun. Finds himself down into P14. Could that be potential contact with the Alpine of Mr. Bust? Mr. Bust doesn't look like he's picked up any damage, so maybe it was contact, maybe not. But here we go. The Aston Martin pits. Baltas stays out. Nazer stays out. This is a very interesting strategy I'm seeing here so far. But it's Martijn, the only driver in that train who reacts to D-Heat's pitting, and he goes onto a set of hards. And this could be very good news for the top two, because they'll be looking to extend their tires to go into a new set of soft, and my oh my, will those softs be so much quicker than the hards. They'll be flying. Oh, Baltas has a spin and he retires from the race. That brings out the safety car. Baltas, our race leader, he could have won the race, but he's binned it into the wall. And that has brought out the safety car. That is great news for Nazer, Stripper Dave, Flynn, Jakes as well. And bad news for the drivers that pitted in the previous laps. Wow. Nazer with a big advantage now. I'd be very surprised if he goes onto a set of hards. He should go onto a set of softs. That's the best strategy for him currently. Very unfortunate for Baltas. And this race has taken a big turn. Here we go, he pits onto a set of softs just as I mentioned, and he will have a absolutely massive advantage to the other drivers behind him. Stripper Dave also onto a set of softs. Flynn, I see softs for him there as well. Med will rejoin the track in second place. Nazer in first place, pitted from first and comes out in first place on those soft tires. He's got Med behind him on 5-lap-old mediums. He'll have massive grip difference, these two. And we have D-Heat and Martijn on those hards behind. Very interesting. See, almost everyone is pitting. This has given basically everyone another opportunity in this race to score points. We should be getting back to race conditions at the end of lap 17. I think that will be sufficient for everyone to catch up. So the whole field will be bunched up again, hopefully. Because the late safety cars tend to get a bit messy with the driving standards. but hopefully it stays as clean as possible. This was the best news Nazer could have gotten in this race. It was looking very tricky after he made that mistake where he went wide. Well, not that mistake where he got overtaken by Belkins because of that retired car. And he found himself in the last place of that train. Would have been very difficult for him to make moves. But this safety car, not only has it brought out one of his competitors for the race win and a podium as well, it has given him a chance to pit onto a new set of softs, have the biggest advantage to his competitors behind him, and yeah, wow, that's just incredible. Fatka, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but what are your thoughts on this? Your team finds yourself in a bit of a tricky situation now. I think Nazer will win it, Fatcat, so you may want to rethink that one. McLaren last to first. Did anyone start? I thought it was Mr. Bus that started last. Finds himself in P11. Let's take a look at the position change. No, it's not McLaren, is it? No, Flynn started P14 and Jake's in P16. I guess it's basically last to last. I completely. No, last to first. Okay, I got confused. Yeah. Oh wait, what happened? Mitz! Did he retire? Mitz retires. He crashed out. No, he didn't crash out. I think he retired on track. I can see his car moving. Yeah, he retired on his own, on track. That's a bit weird. Safety car, I hope will come in this lap if Blitzhyber manages to catch up on time, but if not, I think it will be another lap we'll have behind the safety car. Yes, it will for sure be another lap we'll have safety car. That is great news for the soft runners. It's one less lap that they need to use those softs. That will help them with tire wear. Yeah, Fat Cat, I agree with you. Let's see what they make out of this situation now. Chris is on hards, so he will find himself in a difficult situation because all the drivers in front of him are on fresh softs. So maybe he would have wanted to pit onto a new set of softs. He didn't have much to lose, may have lost one position, probably even 0 by pitting. But the softs are definitely a faster way to finish the race at this stage now. Well, let's see. It will be a very interesting restart, a very interesting end to this race. Yeah, I guess the softs will be a bit on a difficult level of tire wear in the end. But I think by then Nazer will have pulled enough of a gap to get himself that victory. By the way, Fatcat, you knew the tire wear in the sprints. How much tire wear are the softs on now? How much tire wear does Nazer have? Or was that an approximate amount that you thought? Okay, here we go. The safety car is in this lap. It will be Nazer restarting the entire field behind him on a new set of soft tires. Let's see what can he make out of this restart. It's about to go around the final couple of corners to restart, and there we go. He has already restarted. It looks like a very good restart. He's already pulled almost a half a second gap to Med behind, and that will be enough to not put himself under any pressure heading into turn 1. In the back, D-Heats, Martijn slightly further back to the top 2. However, they can make that gap back up. And Nazer on the soft will definitely be pulling away on a rapid rate through this high-speed section that requires a lot of grip. And you can see already, he's already pulled an almost 8/10 gap, 8/10 gap now, even 9/10 now. Not yet 9/10. Almost 9/10. There you go. Already the gap almost 1 second. You can see those softs coming to work very quickly. It's a matter of when can those hard runners get past Med, who is on those old mediums. Will we see the Haas go for a move down into the hairpin? He's not close enough to go for it. Doesn't go for it yet. And the Aston Martin look very desperate to get through this field as quick as they can. This will be very tight, but here comes the Haas down the inside of Med. He even goes onto the grass. Med leaves just enough space for him, but the Haas has to back out to avoid from going into him, and Med stays in P2. This battle is costing a lot of time. Nazer is already 2 seconds up the field, but here comes the Haas again. Side by side this time, he is heading into 130R, and Martijn is looking to go make a move on Med as well. They side by side now. Martijn breaks very late and there's contact. Martijn has spun out, so has Med. It's a big mess. Big mess here. Many people with damage. I have no idea what's going on. So many people pitting. Somehow Mr. Bust is up to P5 now. The Alpine up to... What just happened there? It's a big mess. You can see so many drivers going for a move here, heading into the first couple of corners of the lap. The Williams and McLaren fighting it out. Who will be the one to come out on top of the battle? Left-hander and then right-hander. It's with the Williams in the end. Verse up to P7. Mr. Bust was the only driver that gained the most out of that battle. So many drivers will have damage. You can see the McLaren has wing damage. His right end plate is missing. So many drivers picked up damage from that. That was a big mess. Massive mess. Martijn braked very late. I don't know, he somehow spun out. I think he made contact with someone, but I'm not sure what happened. But here comes the Alpine of Dave down the inside into the hairpin. Can he get the traction he needs? No, but Flynn certainly can. He even overtakes the other Williams. And here we go, Flynn in that slipstream. Will he go for a move into the next corner? He's not close enough to go for a move yet. It's D-Heats up into P2. However, he has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Martijn still in P3 though. I'm not sure if he has any damage. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. He managed to get out of that grass without any harm. But here comes the Alpine on the McLaren, and into 130R we go. The Alpine is ahead and up into P5. It's looking very good for both of the Alpines. They're both on a new set of soft tires. They can use that to catch up to the hard runners in P2 and P3. There's another big train here. Pinax very close to the Mercedes. It's not close enough to go for a move. The Mercedes pulling away in that straight. So the two McLaren switching positions. Then Flynn goes up into P6 and Jakes will struggle massively with that damage from wing until the end of the race. He's got no choice now, because if he pits, it's guaranteed he'll be finishing out of the points. So all he can do is just stay out, do a favor for his teammate, and hold the pack back a bit. Oh, this is getting very close. As Ghost Rider and Alfa Romeo now spin out. Did they make contact? Dixix is out of the race. Does it bring a safety car? Yes, it does bring out another safety car. Dixix has retired from the race. Ghost Rider spins out, manages to get away with no damage, but the safety car is out. This gives an opportunity for D-Heats and Martijn to pit onto a new set of soft tires. And this will make things very mixed now. Some drivers will pit, others will stay out. We'll have approximately 4 laps of racing after the safety car. This is going to be very exciting, very tight. But here we go. Will we see them pitting? Yes, we do see them both pitting. So does Nazer. Let's see. Very interesting. D-Hits will need to serve that 5-second penalty, so he'll lose a position to Mr. Bust, I think. Potentially the other Alpine as well. We have Flynn and Dave staying out. They'll take P1 and 2. And other drivers staying out as well. It has completely mixed the order now. Arrow staying out on 9 lap, Old Hards. Mid staying out on 11 laps, Old Mediums. Pinax on 7 lap, Old Mediums. I said it was going to be very mixed. It is very mixed. But the biggest advantage is to the ones that have those fresh softs. They will fly past the other drivers. But this is going to be very, very tight. Some drivers want to give up race position to have the fresher tires, but was that the right option? Dave leading the race, then Flynn in 2nd place, and 3rd, 4th and 5th will be very, very slow on those old tires. It's going to be an incredible end to this race. Who will win? I have absolutely no idea. It depends who can get past the fastest, who can overtake the fastest. It depends on so many things. It's really I'm really unsure of who will win this race. I think we will get restarting on the next lap. That means that we'll have 1 lap of DRS if my calculations are correct. We'll be restarting at the end of lap 23. That means we take down. We start at lap 24, 25, and then lap 26 and 27 will have DRS. However, lap 26 doesn't really count because you don't get the DRS on that lap. So 1 lap of DRS, as I said. Yes, do a poll. I want to see a poll. Flynn for the win. Arrow for the win. So many people for the win. I honestly don't know who's going to win. It will be very tight. Hopefully it will be clean though. I wouldn't be surprised if there are, once again, any big crashes. Can we get a poll? Possible or not possible? I think there's a feature that you can do a poll. I'm not sure though. Well, tier 1 is basically going to be starting 30 minutes, so it will be very tight with the timings. Fortunately, I don't think I will be doing any interviews because the briefing is starting at the end, basically when this race will be ending. That's around when the briefing will be starting, so no interviews, unfortunately, because I need to race in tier 1. Well then, let's see. Safety car should be coming in this lap. Dave, after what has been a dramatic race, somehow will be wondering how he finds himself in the lead of the race after so many things that happened. And he will be strategizing of what he can do. What's the best option now to win this race. He has 4 drivers behind him who split him and the fresh soft runners, which he can use to defend and pull away and for them to have less laps of him to catch up where they'll be stuck in traffic. But here we go now. Dave through the SS we go. Can he get a good restart? Has he restarted? He has restarted, and it's an incredible restart. Flynn does not get the best of restarts. He's under pressure from Arrow. Arrow diving in that slipstream, gaining on the straight. Will he see a move down into turn 1? Yes, we will. Flynn pulls alongside, down the inside, heading into turn 1. He's not close enough. He backs out of it. In the back, we see Ghost Rider making a move on Pineax. Ghost Rider goes up into P6 now. Nazer is up into P5. Martijn making a move on Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider spun out. Luckily he's ghosted though, otherwise he would have collected so many other cars there. Here comes Nazer on the Alpha Tauri. Nazer is fighting for the win. He finds himself in prime position to win this race. He's the first fresh soft runner. He needs to make these moves quick if he wants to have a chance to win this race. And you can see there he makes a bit of contact with Alpha Tauri. However, I don't think there's any damage for both parties, and Nazer already up into P4. 2 positions gained, and we're not even 1 lap done after the safety car. He's already pressurizing Arrow in for that podium place. Will we go for a move into this section? He has a look. Arrow leaves a space for him, and Nazer, with so much more grip, will be getting that much better exit. You can see there, and is already ahead after the exit. Something has happened in the back. That's the other Ferrari who spun out. That's Pineax, and he's lost his front wing, and the virtual safety car has been deployed. It's not a safety car this time, it's a virtual safety car. All the drivers can take a deep breath and relax a bit after that safety car. But wow, this is going to be very, very tight. It's definitely good news for the top 2. It's less time, less laps that the soft runners will have to catch up to the drivers in front. Flynn will need to defend like a lion if he wants to... hold on, I need to invite Chris back. Was it Chris? No. Chris. Uh-oh. I don't see him online. His PC may have crashed. Okay, he managed to join back. Okay, here we go. We're back to racing conditions then. And Ghost Rider gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits, but he is retired anyway, so that won't matter for him. But Stripper Dave, just look at the gap between him and Flynn. 1.3 seconds with 3 laps remaining in this race. Nazer on putting the McLaren of Flynn under massive pressure. And Flynn will need to defend like a lion if he wants to hold on to that 2nd place. Nazer choosing to go around the outside. Flynn backs out of it, does not want to fight it. There's no point, he's probably thinking, because he's got so much better tires. Nazer finds himself in the best position possible in the back. And now we see Martijn going for a move on Med, side by side in the long straight. Can he go for a move into 130R? He is on that safe stream, however he does not have the straight line speed to go for a move there. Will we see a dive though into the SS here? Martijn goes for a gap there, it goes onto the grass. He is off track, it rejoins the track. Does manage to do so on a safe way, makes a bit of contact with Mr. Bust, even more contact now, but Mr. Bust gets ahead of Martijn. Mr. Bust is up into P7, he's now gaining from the Haas in front with that slipstream. Is Mr. Bust under any pressure from turn 1? Looks like the Mercedes will have a look, but Mr. Bust with the outside line makes a bit of contact with the Mercedes of Blitz Hyper. Blitz Hyper finds himself now falling down the grid. He's had a full out spin, and Mr. Bust up into P7 now. He's fine. There are 2 drivers in front of, no, one driver in front of him with fresh tires, and 3 drivers in front of him with very old tires. Here's Nazer though. Nazer has already caught up to the Alpine. There's a 6 lap difference in tire wear between the 2 of them. Will Nazer go for a dive into the hairpin? Not yet. He stays back. He can get a much better exit out of the hairpin though, and that's exactly what he does. However, Stripper Dave is still ahead after that hairpin. They are both on equal ERS levels. As here we go now, we are about to finish the penultimate lap and start the final lap. Nazer is rapidly gaining on Dave, and I think DRS will be enabled on the next lap. I'm not sure if it's enabled now, but here we go now. Med fighting it out with the Mercedes of Arrow. Med makes that move successfully. Stick no. Arrow goes straight again down the inside. So does Mr. Bust, and Mr. Bust I think has gone past the It's incredible move from Mr. Bust, and now the gets past by Jakes as well. They're side by side in the straight here. The Aston Martin of Martin looking to get involved as well. We almost go 3 wide. However, Martin is ahead of the McLaren. And the McLaren looking to go for it again down the inside. However, the gap is not there for him. Mr. Boss into P6. One more lap remaining in this race. Nazer has made the move for the win. I completely missed that. Sorry for that. But by the looks of it, it's going Nazer's way so far. Dave will finish in second place as it stands if he keeps it clean. But here's Mr. Boss now. This is where all the action will happen. It's all or nothing for Mr. Boss. He can even be getting a podium if he makes the moves at the right time. The AlphaTauri with a very poor exit. Mr. Boss will use that mistake to overtake him around the outside into the hairpin. Can he make the move stick? He has the grip to make the move stick. Mid has a massive snap, and Mr. Boss is now ahead after hairpin up into P5. He's now 5/10ths behind Arrow, who's on 14 lap old hards. The grip difference between him and Mr. Boss will be incredible. They're both flashing though. They're both on very low ERS. And here we go. The final straight of the race. Mr. Boss is in that slipstream. But is he close enough to have a look, have a lunge into the S's? I think he's a bit too far back. But will he send it? It will be a big lunge if he does. He does not send it. Flynn Nazer will come home to win the race. Stripper Dave will finish in second place. Flynn finishes on the podium. And here comes Arrow and Mr. Bust. Mr. Bust just not close enough to make the move on him. He's up into P5. Chris up into P6. What happened to D-Hits? We lost out on some action in the back there. But D-Hits, P10, just 1 point for him after that dramatic race. Wow, what a race. I've completely lost my voice once again. That was an incredible race. Wow. Nazer wins the race then after what has been a race which he probably didn't expect to win at one stage, but after that safety car it all went his way in the end, and he made some incredible moves, and that is a very well deserved win for Nazer. Luck is part of the game, and Nazer did everything, all the right strategy decisions, and it paid out for him. He's on top. Dave in second place, Flynn in third place. These are the results then. Nazer with a massive 33 points in the entire race weekend. He just missed out on scoring max points by not winning that sprint race. And Dave in second place with that second race finish, and Flynn in third place with that podium in the race. These are the race results. What an incredible race. Nazer, GG's indeed, mate. You did an amazing job out there. Well then, that would be the end of the stream, because I don't have time to go for any interviews. Make sure to check out the tier 1 race though. We'll be live in around 20 minutes, so make sure to check that out. And Darkness will be commentating, so hopefully see you guys soon.